This is Detective Q. For years he has been a very popular person when it comes to solving criminal cases. This morning it was time again. His cell phone rang in the pocket of his jacket. It was the bank manager who contacted Detective Q. He said, "Hello, this is Sky City's bank manager. We've been robbed. The whole safe has been emptied. Can you come over?" Detective Q didn't need to be told twice. He got into his car and immediately drove to the city bank. When he got there, the bank manager was already waiting for him at the vault. "Am I glad you are here? The thieves stole all our gold and got away unseen." Detective Q jotted down all the information on his notebook and decided to check the bank's security cameras first before taking a closer look at the vault. The security man had already taken all the precautions and prepared the footage. "Can I see the footage from this morning? Please?" "Sure, one moment please." The cameras show two different shots. The first is from 10 a.m. The second was recorded half an hour later. Can you see who is acting suspiciously? This woman here. At the beginning of the recording she had no bag with her. Half an hour later she can be seen with a bulging purse. Very suspicious. Next, Detective Q turned to the vault and examined it closely. "What's that on the floor?" Detective Q picked up the paper and took a closer look. A kind of map with 3 stations was shown on it. Maybe that was the thief's escape route. Detective Q decided to go to the hotel first to intercept the thief. There she was indeed. The woman in the orange skirt. She just disappeared into the hotel, in front of which a bouncer had positioned himself. Detective Q was about to run after her when he made the following observation. A young man appeared and was stopped by the bouncer. He said 3 and waited for the man to answer. This one said banana. The bouncer thought for a moment and let the man into the hotel. Detective Q was able to witness this spectacle once more. This time the bouncer said 2. After a moment's thought, the answer came melon. A third man came. The bouncer said 2 when the man said kiwi after a moment's thought. Detective Q had seen through the riddle, and now dared to try it himself. The bouncer said 3. Do you know what answer Detective Q has to give? The bouncer gave a number of syllables that a word related to fruit had to have. Detective Q replied strawberry. The bouncer thought for a moment and let him into the hotel. Arriving at the hotel, Detective Q tried to look around inconspicuously. But then everything went black. Seems the power went out for a moment. No problem because Detective Q had a flashlight with him. After a moment, he arrived in a hallway where he could see 3 doors in the dim light of his flashlight. Razor-sharp saw blades were behind the first. Strange-looking clouds of gas seemed to be waiting behind the second, and the third was being watched closely by a vicious dog. Which door should Detective Q choose? The first. With the power outage across the hotel, the saw blades don't move, and Detective Q is free to walk past the sides. The door led to an underground car park. Just as Detective Q got there, he saw a car disappear with screeching tires. Such a crap. He almost caught the thief. He quickly pulled the map with the escape plan from his jacket pocket and glanced at it. The next stop was apparently the city park. So let's go. But when he arrived at the city park, nobody seemed to be there. Detective Q looked around carefully a few times, but then decided to leave the park again. This seemed to be a red herring. Can you help him find his way out? Very well. Now only one location is missing. The housing estate just outside the city. Detective Q got in his car and drove off. Arrived in the settlement, there were several houses. Can you help Detective Q and figure out which house he needs to go to? He has to go to this one. Look at the car parked in front of the house. It's the same as what went away at the bank. To see if the thief was really in the house, Detective Q had to get inside. However, the front door was locked with a code. The device beeped briefly and then released a message. I make 2 people out of 1. What am I? Do you know what word Detective Q has to type to open the door? The word you are looking for is mirror. The door opened and indeed there was the woman in the orange skirt with all the valuables from the safe. However, the woman didn't give up that easily and said, "All right, you got me. I won't hand out the goods until you answer my question." I'm light as a feather, yet the strongest man can't hold me for more than 5 minutes. What am I? A short time later, the woman was handed over to the police and the stolen goods were returned to the bank. What did Detective Q reply? He said breath. The bank manager was overjoyed. Everything is back in place. Thank you very much. Could you solve as many puzzles as Detective Q? Write in the comments and subscribe to the channel for more videos with Detective Q.